Once again, I will tell you that I'm Chris B from TCB Entertainment Network, and we would love for you to connect with us. We would love for you to join our Radio on TV network. We would love for you to submit your shows if you like, or your music. You can submit your shows to TCB Shows 2019 at gmail.com, or you can submit your shows to TCB Entertainment Network at gmail.com, along with the artists. Make sure that you send them an MP3 format. Definitely don't want to send that. And also, if you're looking into investing and wanting to expand your ministry through radio or TV, you definitely email us at those two accounts, TCB Entertainment Network at gmail.com or TCB Shows 2019 at gmail.com. We would love for you to join our Radio on TV family, spreading the good news on a whole nother level.
What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? Can you hear me? Are we good? Is we live?
Yeah, we're good. We good.
So what's poppin'? What's poppin'? It's your girl Rika Nadine, aka Nana. Oh, girl, I'm gonna spit. What's poppin'? It's your girl Rika Nadine, aka Nana. Period. Girl, I'm rusty.
Yeah, you're rusty because you ain't did it so well in a long while. Right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Big Ben. What's up?
So you are tuning into Monday Night Live. This is a platform where we come on here and we discuss being single, different variety of topics, and being single and being in the faith. Ain't that right, Big Ben?
Yes, you gotta be single and in the faith. You gotta. It's amazing being single in the faith. Honestly, it is. It really is.
I enjoy it. That's for sure. But when that special one comes, I'm gonna enjoy it as well.
Yes.
But
amen.
We want to use this time right now to make sure you smash that like button. Also, share and invite somebody. If you know somebody who's single, if you know somebody who's struggling being single, tag them, because it ain't for the weak, but it ain't that hard either, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So
please
make sure you
share
leave a comment down below as well.
Your aunts, uncles, your cousins, your grandmas, everybody, share it to everybody. I need everybody to share at least 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just need everybody to do that. I need y'all to comment where y'all from. Yes, we need to know where y'all from. Comment below. So yes.
Yes. Again, we appreciate. Oh my goodness. We appreciate everyone who's going to be coming on and watching live and also the playback. We also appreciate all the panelists, their time. I'm excited for tonight's show. Big Ben, do you want to give the topic before we start?
So today's topic is going to be, hold up, I have it written down. I need to look at it again because I forgot. Okay, she got it right there. Jacob, Rachel, and Leah. We're going to talk about their relationship tonight, guys. And I'm glad the banner was up because, I had it written down. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad the banners are here for us, guys. I'm glad.
Won't he do it? We keep saying. But yes, that's going to be our topic. We're going to break down this dynamic, this relationship, this love triangle, however you want to talk about it. While we're waiting for some of our panelists to come on, we're going to play this video where we're reading the Bible scripture. Make sure you listen because we're going to dive deep into this. So we're going to play it.
The Book of Genesis, chapter 29. Then Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field. And lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it, for out of that well they watered the flocks. And a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither were all the flocks gathered. And they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in his place. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran are we. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, We cannot, until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel the daughter of Laban his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brother, that Jacob went near, and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy younger daughter. And Laban said, It is better that I give her to thee, than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place, and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening, that he took Leah his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for an handmaid. And it came to pass, that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, What is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? And Laban said, It must not be so done in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also, for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years. And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week. And he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her maid. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived, and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, Surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said, Because the Lord hath heard that I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said, Now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi. And she conceived again, and bare a son. And she said, Now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah and left bearing.
Okay, that was Genesis 29, chapter 29. That was deep. That was good. But I think we have enough people on now. So we're going to bring in our panelists, and I'm excited for this topic.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Big Ben, you want to? Let's do the ladies first. Ladies first. There's this song. My mom was like, "Oh, you should sing this." I'm like, "Girl, I don't know that song. If it's not from the early 2000s, I don't know it. Period. I barely know those songs." But anyway, let's start with the ladies. So first, we got my girl. She's a rap lyricist. Honey, she go hard. I promise you, she go hard. We got Drink a Will. Pop her in, Big Ben. Where's she at? Where's she at? How you doing, girl?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me, by the way?
We can hear you. Sound great.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. Hi, nice to meet you, Ben.
Nice
Big Ben.
We got another how would I say this? Because she sings, she raps, she speaks, she do a lot of things or whatever. We got none other than Chastity Latrice. Pop her in, Big Ben. What's poppin'?
Blessings on blessings on blessings.
How are you doing today?
I'm blessed. Hence the blessings on blessings on blessings.
Okay, Big Ben, you ready for the men? We got more men this time. The men are stepping up.
We got more men this time, guys.
The men are stepping up.
Yes. So today we got a stellar award, radio personality.
Come on.
The host of the Bobby Parker Show. We got Mr.
You already
Bobby
gave his
Parker.
name away.
I will. Then we got.
How are you doing?
I'm good. What's up, everybody?
Yes. We got Mr. Israel. He's an author of a book. He's a prophet. He got so many hats. So we're gonna hand and bring them on.
Come on.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're doing good. How are you?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Sound great.
Everyone
Wonderful. Amazing.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
So we have a very interesting panelist this time. Yes, we are all of color. Girl, we trying to fix that. I promise you we trying to fix that. But yeah, we have an interesting bunch. We have authors, we have a radio veteran, we have singers, we have rappers, then we have regular Big Ben. He just regular.
I'm not regular. I'm a singer. I'm a member of a choir. I got a lot. I got a lot of hats.
Anyway, so we all heard the Genesis 29. Also, the story of Jacob is very deep. Very deep. If you are interested in being part of the panel, please inbox.
Yes, please inbox.
Let us know in the comments.
Yes.
But the story of Jacob, Rachel, and Leah is very deep and very different. A lot of people talk about it, in churches and stuff. But I wanted to bring it to this intimate setting, so we can dissect it a little bit deeper. So, Big Ben, do you want to do the first question?
Okay, I'm gonna go do the first question for y'all tonight. So we're gonna go to this one. Oh, you gonna pull it up for me? Okay.
Yeah.
So what character are? Hold up. I'm good.
Yeah, you can go.
Oh, okay. What character are you, or do you relate to anyone in this story? Rachel, Jacob, and Leah.
First, I do want to point out, we don't mean character like these people are fictional. These are real people who were living on the earth. Okay, honey? So, yeah. Let's start with the ladies. Do you guys relate to anyone in this love triangle? Rachel, Leah, Jacob, Drinka. Do you relate with anybody?
I'm going to say no, because I'm not sharing no man.
Right. Period.
I'm not sharing.
Period.
As far as, from what I can remember about this story, I'm like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Period. Chastity?
I can relate to Leah, being the not so beautified sister part. Not as far as the man sharing thing, but definitely the being chosen last situation, or kind of getting stuck with. I kind of felt that way quite a bit, which is probably why I haven't dated a lot. So yeah, I can relate to her on being overlooked, even though you clearly have the ability to, be a wife and board the children and take care of your household, and things that people may not tap in or look at or see you because you're not, as beautified as some other women may be presented.
Okay. I said ladies. We already did the ladies. So the men. Can you relate to Jacob? I hope not. But anyway, can you relate to Jacob? Y'all got multiple girls out here just drooling over y'all.
No, you want me to go?
Yeah, you can go.
Not at all. And I think he waited like 14 years.
Yes, sir.
No, I can't relate to that. And then the way things had played out with them, it was that was pretty, it was pretty deep as well. The way he had, like, what was it, 4 boys with someone that he didn't want to be with. So I can't relate to that.
Israel, relate to Jacob?
Absolutely not.
Big Ben?
Just
I'm sorry.
no.
You said no.
Yeah, no. Straightforward, no. Straight, no.
Big Ben?
No, I can't be like him. He's around. He's around the world. Yeah, I can't be right. So I cannot be like him. I'm good.
And I guess I'm last. I most definitely am none of these characters. I agree. I'm not sharing anybody. If he's mine, he's mine. So what I did with the story, and that's the period. What I did with this story is I took all 3 characters and I did different columns for them. I don't know how you guys do your Bible study, but like when I'm doing a story, I take each character. Why do I keep saying character? Each person, and I break them down. So we all know Jacob stole his brother's birthright. He wrestled with an angel. He lied to his father to get the blessing. He was 91 when he had his 11th child, which was Joseph. He was 77 when he tried to marry Rachel, who was 22, but we're not going to get on that. He was working in the field at the age of 77. There's so many. Jacob's a big character. Leah, she was 22 years old. The Bible specifically says she was gentle. She had lovely eyes. She was Jacob's first wife. She was the mother of 6 boys and a daughter, Jacob's only daughter. She had her servant marry her husband. She wanted to be loved by Jacob. She had a sister, Rachel. She was the oldest. The Bible, okay, yeah. She was 44 when she passed. Okay, and then there's Rachel. She was the mother of Joseph and Benjamin. Of course, she's the woman that Jacob wanted. She died of childbirth. She was 22 when she got married, which we're going to discuss that because I'm like, if Jacob married Leah and she was 22 and he married Rachel and she was 22, were they twins? Were they twins and the Bible didn't specifically say it?
They're not twins if he had to wait 7 years more. He had to wait an additional 7 years before he married her. So apparently she was much younger than that when he desired her. But when if that's the age, I didn't do the research as far as the age, but if the first daughter got married at 22, who was Leah, he waited 7 more years before he could marry Rachel. So you have to think back maybe 7 years from that, then that was probably her age, and then she was 15 or something like that, and then it was just weird. But that's another story.
Okay. Of course, Jacob worked for Rachel for 14 years. She was also barren for 14 years. So anyway, that's how I dissected the characters. So we all know the story of Jacob, Rachel. We all know the story of Jacob, Rachel, and Leah. So my next question is do you think, let me just pop up the question. Would you wait for somebody while plowing for over 14 years that you were interested in or you wanted to be with? Would you wait? Let's start with the men first this time. Whoever wants to go can go.
I think I said it before. Him waiting 14 years. I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could wait 14 years. And then he was old. He was like in his 70s. And then, of course, we just heard that she was young. So it was, I don't know. That's a long time. But with working and plowing and wanting to wait, I don't think I would wait that long. But in today's time, and I've been in situations where 1 or 2 years, people after 1 or 2 years, people are ready to get married. After you meet someone. I don't think anybody's going to wait 14 years to be with somebody. Sure. It happens. It does happen, but I wouldn't do it.
Okay. Anyone else? Good point.
Okay. All right. I think. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Oh yeah.
All right. First of all, I want to understand things from Jacob's point of view. In the previous scripture, in the previous scriptures from Genesis 29, like 28 and 29, starting from verse 1, you find that Jacob found Rachel at a well fetching water. So and then at the night where Laban was supposed to give him Rachel, he gave him Leah. So my question is, how can Jacob not know the woman that he slept with the whole night and later realize in the morning that it was a different woman? All right, and it tells me to say that there was something that there's something similar about Rachel and Leah. Rachel and Leah had similar maybe body types or something for Jacob not to know the person he was sleeping with. All right. But why did Jacob then work for 7 more years to get Rachel? All right. Rachel is described to be a lady that was hardworking, not only beautiful, but she was more than just her appearance. All right. So Jacob was looking for more than appearance. And that's what drives, a man. Men look for more than appearance in a lady. You may have the beauty and all that, but if the there's nothing, the beauty, if how can I explain it? If the beauty doesn't come with the wisdom, the knowledge, and the work, it becomes not cool. So Jacob had to work for another 7 years because he saw something in Rachel that he did not see in any other woman. And believe me, any man can, maybe not any man, but most men can wait for that long to get what they want. Trust me, because it's like there's just something about this person that you cannot explain, and she's the only one who has it. All right, and you have to do everything it takes for you to get that person. So I mean, it depends with the type of person that you are. If you're ready to wait, I mean, I've seen people that have waited for that long, and it's possible. It's very possible.
It said that she was favored as well. The Bible said that she was favored. So,
Yeah.
and then of course, when you find a wife, you obtain favor. So it was something more than just her beauty that he wanted. But
Right.
when he was with the other sister, it must have been in the dark. He must didn't get a chance to see her.
Oh yeah.
Or he was drunk. You know, when you're drunk, you don't know what you be sleeping with. I'll be honest. I don't drink, guys. I don't drink. I don't believe in drinking. I don't believe in drinking at all.
I was about to say, you know, from experience. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't know from experience, but I don't know. I don't drink, guys. I don't drink. I don't believe in that. Okay. Next subject.
Big Ben, are you going to answer the question?
Oh yeah. Repeat the question again because I want to make sure I answer it right. Repeat it again for me.
Or you can just read it in the studio. Anyway, Genesis, that's what I was about to say. I was literally about to say that. And actually, Jacob worked for Leah for 7 years, but after he married Leah, after he was deceived with Leah, he then was a week after was given Rachel. He still worked for her though for the 7 years, but he was given her after a week, according to the Bible. So that's what that's saying. So technically, he worked the 7 years, but he was still technically. I mean, from growing up, I've always heard like, oh, you know, Jacob worked 14 years for Rachel. So I'm thinking, okay, so for these 14 years, you know, he's not in contact with her. Maybe he's working in the field, but they're not in contact. But then when I went to the word, it was like after a week, Rachel was given to him as a wife. So, yeah, take with it. Big Ben, we're waiting for you. I just wanted to point at that out. I think you're mute.
I would not wait 14 years for somebody. I would not. And I haven't found her either yet. So I guess I'm still. I wouldn't. I'm contradicting myself then. Hold up. Because I am waiting for that white woman. But I won't wait no 14 years.
After you met her, if you met her, then would you wait 14 years?
Sure.
Oh, no. No, I wouldn't wait no 14 years. I'm good.
You would try to marry her immediately.
Yeah, I would have tried to marry her immediately, or I find somebody else. I find this this is a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of women out here.
Do tell. Do the men agree? Do the men agree with his statement? There's a lot of fish in the sea, according to Big Ben.
You see, the other point is, let's not forget that Jacob was not like he was willing to wait for 7 years at first. So the 14 years came in because he was deceived. Mm-hmm. So it's the 7 years first, and then you're given what you did not order for, and then you work for another 7 years, and then so it's like he had to do that for, you know, because I mean he was promised and he was deceived and he had to work for another 7 years. So Ben, can you wait for 7 years? Okay, let's not say 14. Can you wait for 7 years?
I could wait 7 years, but not no 14. All right,
you see,
not no 14. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to find somebody else. I can't. It's too long. It's too long. It's wasting my time. I have to find somebody else.
But she's beautiful in favor.
She can be beautiful in favor. There's somebody else that's beautiful in favor.
I can't.
Can the ladies chime in?
Yes, I was just about to call on you. What is your? Let me pop the question back up.
Oh, I remember the question.
Oh, good.
Oh. Well, okay, so let me say this. Like, personally, I see no valid reason. Like, and granted, I used to be one of those girls that feel like, oh, you know, I know who my husband is, so I gotta sit here and wait. No. I now understand, like, there's not really a valid reason for me to sit around and wait for somebody. Like, if that's the individual that I should be with, and like, you know, seasons come and go, you know, so maybe it's not the season, but I think God is like faithful to like bring that individual back into your life. I don't think you need to spend your life just waiting. Like that shouldn't, I don't think it should be like at the very most, I think it should be like a back of the mind type thing. Like I don't think it needs to be something where it's like, oh, you know, I ain't gonna date nobody because I'm waiting on that person. Trust me, I've been in that season. I felt so stupid at the end. And yeah, I think it's very like I don't think it, I think it's kind of contradictory. I can't say the word contradictory to y'all. Somebody help me. To
I don't even know how to say it right either.
Yeah. But we know what I'm trying to say. It is that word to me, to God's free will, you know, for us to choose an individual. Obviously, we need to be equally yoked. Obviously, there are certain things we're looking for in that person, but God created how many people, you know, and you're just gonna put your life on hold. Because I feel like for me, waiting for somebody, it's not just, oh, okay, I'm patiently waiting and still doing life. Like I feel like waiting is now you're planning your life with them in mind, and that person might never come around. Like that might, you know, you're gonna change, that person's gonna change, you guys are gonna grow. You might not even want that version of them after you've waited for X amount of time. Like I don't even think I'm gonna wait a couple months. Like if you don't know, bye. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a matter of like us really like, what is waiting? I think that's the, like, what does waiting look like? And why are you waiting for this person? Like, what is so special about them that you can't find in somebody else? Or that if God sees that that's a desire that's on your heart, why wouldn't he bring that to you in another individual? They may not have every single box checked, but if there are certain qualities that are like deal breakers for you that, you know, impact you in a way, I guess, that like edifies your and brings value to your life. Like I feel like God is faithful to bring that around. So I ain't waiting on nobody.
Right.
But the Lord. All right, I'm going back on mute.
Chastity.
She a little quiet today.
I'm just trying to listen. As far as waiting, I don't really know. Because the story is kind of, the way things are set up now and the way things are set up then is just different. I think, you know, if I was in that time frame, I think I would go with whatever the flow was, however it worked. Now we kind of live in a world where, I mean, technically you are waiting, like as a at least as a female. I mean, I'm 35 and I'm single, so technically, you know what I'm saying? It's just like I may not know who it is or whatever. I don't even know if I'm gonna be married before the Lord comes, but I don't know. Like to me, it's like whichever way that falls. I guess I'm not picky about it. However that falls, if a person comes into my life and they say, I gotta get my life together, but I know I want to be with you, but I know I'm not financially stable, or there's some things spiritually that I want to get right, you know, before I marry you, because I want to come into the marriage correctly. If that's their perspective, you know, then that's something different versus, like I said, you know, because they talking about working, he had to work his time off or whatever. But I don't know. I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say on the fence, but it's just like I'm kind of go with the whatever the flow is, because if it makes sense, then it makes sense. If you're doing something for my long haul, if you want to marry me and it's something that you're working on for the long haul, I can respect that. You know, I respect as a man. I think it takes a lot for a man to even say, "Hey, I know for a fact I want you, but this I have to do." That's different, you know. So versus somebody who just, you know, put you on the back burner, because you got some dudes that like to put you on the back burner. They just want to hold on to you so they can go and do what they want to do with a bunch of other females. Been there, done that, you know, and they put you on the back burner because they know you're the quote unquote wife material. Yeah, you know, and they go out and sleep with whoever they want to sleep out, and then they come back to you. That's different. So I guess mine would be just, it just depends on the person and their background and where they're coming from.
Can I interject? Sorry. Because I feel like to say that we're I'm gonna push back a little bit to say that we are waiting for, I guess, a man to come into our lives. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that's not every. I don't think that's every female situation. Even if you are like desiring marriage, like I feel like yes, there is an aspect of me. Yes, I do desire marriage. I do desire family, but not. And I mean this in the most like sincere and genuine way. I really care more about like God's purpose for my life, and if that individual does not fit into what God has for my life, then like I feel like me saying that I'm waiting, I feel like waiting is like an active thing. Like it might not mean that we're like actively just pursuing people or like dating per se, but I just feel like waiting is more I don't know, I just feel like it's more active than people think it is. Because you're waiting with expectation that I don't know, I feel like there's expectation that comes along with it. So I don't know, like I'm not expecting. It's not that I don't think God won't do it. Like I don't want to sound like I'm saying like I don't have expectations, but yeah, I think there's like just a difference between like the desire and like me actually waiting. I hope I'm making sense, y'all.
Yes.
It does.
Yes, you must definitely make sense. I actually know somebody who's in the faith, and she's single still, girl. That's a whole nother subject. But anyway, she's single still, and she desires marriage. But I agree with you. I feel like sometimes, especially as a body of Christ, when we put, wait for the right one, especially with women, because I barely hear people say to men, wait for the right one, or you know what I mean. For women, that I feel like that's push. But I was about to go on to something else that's push, but I ain't gonna talk about that. Dang, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I agree with you. So fellas, my question for you guys is, why wasn't Leah enough? Why wasn't Leah enough for Jacob? Why couldn't he just accept Leah and move on?
Because that's not what he asked for. He worked that first 7 years for Rachel, not Leah. So that's my answer to this question.
I'll say this. That man know what he want.
Period.
He know what he want. I might not agree with it fully, but he's like, this is my prayer request. Faith without works is dead. I'm getting what I requested. That's that.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Anyone else? Any other fellas? Mr. Bobby, why wasn't Rachel? I said Rachel. Why wasn't Leah enough for Jacob?
Like everybody said, that's not what he wanted. He wanted Rachel, and I guess he was willing to wait, but having being with her, I guess he got his cake. What is it? You want your cake and eat it too, or something like that. I guess he decided to, which was wrong, but he had made a lot of bad decisions throughout the Bible, and this is something that he did, and he ended up having so many children, and still waiting to be with. He ended up being with both of them. So,
Israel, why wasn't Leah enough? Like she had the boys, she had the kids. See, Rachel was barren. She couldn't even give Jacob kids. So why was he not content with just Leah? I think you're muted.
You're muted, sir. You're muted.
I see your mouth moving, but I don't hear anything.
Praise him.
I can't hear you. That's the part I don't get. Why he's trying to fix his sound. If towards the end of the story, of course, we realize Leah gives him 6 boys, which is back in those days that was a sign of wealth, of producing boys. And she gave him his first daughter, his first and only daughter. and she has her own story, to be honest. But I don't see why Leah was enough. I don't see the difference between Rachel and Leah. I mean, Rachel only had 2 boys of her own. She died in childbirth. So it's like, yes, she may have been a hard worker. Yes, she may have been easy on the eyes. But according to the Bible, Leah wasn't ugly. Leah, she wasn't an ugly person. Maybe she was not as hardworking as Rachel, but I'm sure she was still working and providing for the family, cleaning up, doing something. I just don't get that. That's the part I don't get. I'm like, Leah, girl, not trying to pick sides, but I side with Leah. I'm team.
Can you hear me now?
We can.
All right, okay. Yeah, so in the first place, Jacob worked for Rachel and not Leah. And the Bible says to him, 7 years, seemed to be a few days. And after he actually worked for 21 years, yeah. The first 7 he got Leah, the second 7 he got Rachel, and he worked for 7 more years just to appreciate labor. So I mean he knew what he wanted, and he got it. So he worked for it, and he got it. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I hear what you guys are saying. I mean, I'm still Team Leah. But anyway, next question. Do you think? Well, I think we kind of already answered this question, but I'm gonna still shoot it to you guys. Do you think? Not that one. Can we stay afloat?
I can't see.
Do you think it was worth the wait? Jacob waiting 14 years for Leah, not Leah, Rachel. Do you think it was worth the wait?
Well, he finally got her after 14 years, so I hope it is worth the wait. I ain't about to be working over for 14 years and then it ain't worth it. I'm not that type. Okay, next person, Mr. Bobby.
You think it was worth the wait? Yeah, it was. Yeah, like you said, he ended up being with Rachel after 14 years, and like you were saying, working those 7 years were like a few years for him. So it was worth it for him to be with the one he wanted. So, and that's who he asked for at first. So it was worth the wait for him, I do believe.
Israel.
Yeah, it was worth it. I mean, I can imagine Jacob working for 7 years, and in each time he thinks of giving up, he thinks of Rachel. Every time he thinks of giving up, he thinks of Rachel. So I mean, it was worth it. I mean, it was worth it. It was worth it. So yeah, actually, a lot of lessons that we can learn from Jacob, despite his mistakes. I mean, he was committed, and his consistency paid off.
Ladies.
I would say I think it was worth it, especially seeing how the story played out. I know like it was a lot of chaos surrounding it, but it just reminded me of that verse, all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord, and so forth. I always get it, the last part messed up. We're called according to his purpose. I probably butchered that, but yeah, it just reminds me of that because like I know it probably wasn't the most ideal situation. It probably wasn't how God planned it, as far as him having 2 wives and all that foolishness happening in the midst of it, but it definitely did work out in the end because at the end of the day, the story leads all the way down to the lineage of Jesus. So yeah, I think it was worth it.
Chastity, do you think it was worth the wait?
Amen. I think it was worth the time he had to put in. Because I went back on what you were saying, so that was brain kind of not working today. I went back on the scripture to see what it was saying about when he actually married her. You were saying that he also went into to Rachel that same time frame. So he did marry them basically on the same time. It was just Leah first, and then Rachel after he argued with old dude. And then he worked after he already. I mean, because once you lay with somebody, technically that's your spouse or whatever. But I think it's because he already had her. It's not like he actually didn't have to wait another 7 years. I'm reading this right. But he did have to work after the fact. So I think already possessing, what the days felt like before, and then 7 years of fall, I think that was like butter to him because he had a person he wanted. You know what I'm saying? So it was more like that's another 7 years. That's butter. That's easy. Like I did this 7 years. That's nothing. So I think it was definitely worth it. And now that my brain is starting to like wake up, and when I was referring to the waiting part, I don't believe that women are waiting for men. In that retrospect, I was just saying, in a sense, we're waiting. I'm not waiting. I like being single. So, and we talked about this on the other times that we were here or whatever. So I just think the wait from my perspective of what I was talking about was more so that if you're already in waiting, if you're that person specifically and you're in waiting, what is time? What is a little bit more time if a person is trying to get themselves together or trying to get something together to make sure that they're solid for you is what I was referring to. That's all that.
Okay.
I'd like to say this too.
Okay.
And when we say waiting, I think it's we're not just waiting, twiddling our thumbs. We're actually working. We're serving. Anything that we want, that we desire, we're going to go after it. I wanted to be in radio ever since I was a kid, and I worked and worked and worked and grind. So I waited for the opportunity to come. But in the meantime of waiting, I'm working. I'm doing whatever I got to do to make things happen. So using that as, we work while we wait, and things will come that we want and that we desire. He desired her, so he worked. He got what he wanted.
Yep.
I mean, that's a good point. Hard work does pay off eventually. Before I go to the next question, I want to give you guys a scenario. I'm going to start with who do I want to start with? Because I have a scenario for the guys, and then I have a scenario for the ladies. Huh?
Let's do ladies first.
Okay, now I have to switch my scenario around. Okay, okay, ladies, how y'all doing? Y'all quiet today. Y'all quiet. Like it's real quiet on this stream. Okay, here's the scenario. Say a man, you talking to a man, and he like, I'm dating for marriage. Like, I'm dating for marriage, and I want to be committed to whoever I'm dating. Is that, I won't say, is that a deal breaker? Or is that a deal breaker? Like, especially if you know for a fact, like, he ain't the one. Is that a deal breaker for you?
Let me say it again.
Okay, say a guy approaches, y'all talking, y'all getting to know each other. Y'all know, girl, I'm still trying to figure out this talking, dating. I don't even know. But say y'all talking, y'all getting to know each other, and he's telling you like I'm dating for marriage. I think that you're the one. I'm dating for life. Is that but he's not the one. Like God hasn't showed you any signs him being the one. Do you continue to pursue this relationship? Or what do you do? What do you do in that situation?
I feel like that situation was a little more nuanced than because I feel like I don't want to say that. I'm not saying that God doesn't show you who the one is, and that you won't know, but I've heard so many stories and I've seen so many different beautiful relationships. I thought somebody said something. Yeah, I've seen so many beautiful relationships flourish and thrive on how it's been. I've seen them flourish and thrive just from the girl was not feeling the guy. She ain't see it. She ain't see it in the beginning at all. And then now they have one of the most beautiful marriages I have tons of friends who like have that story. So I don't know. Like I will say this: if a guy hits me with that, then I'm gonna be like, okay, great. Like it's not a deal breaker. Well, definitely is a deal breaker. But like obviously, I don't want to be dating somebody like. I personally, casual dating is not my preference. Like I'm not really into the whole like date around type thing. If anybody is not knocking it, it's just not my thing. But so if a guy hit me with that, I'll be like, okay, that's great, and hopefully we'll see. Hopefully, it turns out a beautiful love story. But yeah, I think it's like I don't think that's like a deal breaker type thing. Like, well, obviously, I feel like it would be more of a deal breaker if he's like, well, I just want to date. I don't want to get married. Well, obviously, no, then the relationship stops right there. I also do believe in, giving people a chance, trying to get to know them. But I don't think that's a deal. Yes, it's a deal breaker, but I don't think the way I don't think the way you phrased it is like a deal breaker. Okay. I'm gonna stop rambling.
That makes sense. Chastity?
Yeah, I probably I don't know. What this scenario is different. Because if I by discernment, if I know we're not on the same path, I wouldn't be dating the person anyway. If that person comes in saying what they already want, how they're trying to move forward, and I don't know. I mean, if it's at the beginning of the relationship, you just don't know until you move forward, But now, if we in the midst of this relationship, we, I don't know, 4 or 5 months in, and I'm still rocking with you or whatever, and then you bring that up, then at least I know where we're going. Like, I can at least say, okay, this is, But one person that I know used to say, even if a guy does say that to you, like, he's not your husband until like he's your husband. And I feel like people hear that and they start doing wife things. You know what I'm saying? I think it kind of move quickly and try to like make sure, let me lock this in. And I hear it, that's cool. And I would respect it if that's like I said, if that's the direction he's going. But I also want to keep it in mindset of that I'm still not his wife until I'm his wife. And so, I mean, that's how I wouldn't tell him that. I wouldn't be rude about it because I ain't trying to shut him down. It's like, oh, I know you looking for a wife, but I ain't your wife until I'm your wife. I wouldn't do that. But in my mind, I definitely would I would have that in the forefront of my mind to make sure that I'm not overstepping boundaries because he's already made up in his mind his desires and things like that. Because just because that's what he wants doesn't mean that's how it's going to end up either. So it's just a bunch of stuff in that scenario I feel like could go left or right. But that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay, that makes sense. Fellas, the same question, I guess. I felt like I didn't really explain the scenario correctly, but I love you guys' answers. Girl. Okay, fellas. If it was on the other foot, like, you being the man and she's the woman, she's coming to you like, how y'all feeling? Big Ben, let's start with you because you obviously got a lot to say this live. You got a lot of opinions.
First of all, I'm gonna know if she's the one because you gotta use your spirit discernment. But yeah, I'm gonna know. But if I'm gonna know when she's not the one though, I will know because signs will show. Signs will show. I know. I really do. Amen. That's
Mr. Bobby.
Them red flags, they be red flagging. They be red flagging.
Yep, I see them all the time. I see them before when you seen the first text. I see it.
So the scenario, explain the scenario again.
Oh, y'all really having me go back on this scenario. I keep forgetting it.
I didn't even know.
Okay.
Yes, I did half of a question. Answer the half.
Wait, do you remember the scenario, Ben?
He just knows. He just knows she's the one.
I don't see how. But anyway, that's a topic for a different.
Okay.
Do you remember the scenario?
No, I do not. I answer half of it.
So you just answering scenarios.
I answer half. I don't remember the full question, the full scenario. I remember. I just answer half.
Okay. Y'all really trying to have me remember the scenario I'm messing up on. So I believe the scenario was, and quote me if I'm wrong, I believe the scenario was, what if a woman came to you, or you're talking to a woman, getting to know a woman, and she's like, I'm dating for marriage. I'm dating, with the intention of marriage. But for a fact, she's giving you all the red flags. She's giving you all the signs that she's not the one. But she has she's cute. She's a hard worker. Like, she got the whole package. Do you keep pursuing her? Let's put it that way.
Okay. Being older, I probably would do something like Jacob did when I was in my younger days. But being older now, if you're dating, I'm dating for marriage. I'm dating and praying about the situation. If we're going to be together, it's someone that I want to be with, and I have the mindset of this is who I want to spend the rest of my life with. Being older now, so yeah, I would pursue and be with her, knowing that later on, that we want to go ahead and be together for life.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to string anybody along. Life is too short for that.
You better preach, sir. Preach.
Life is too short.
These minutes surviving.
Time is your most valuable asset.
Absolutely.
Come on, prophetess. You better you better speak.
Don't make me throw my shoe. I'll throw my shoe.
Drinka, you had something to say? I cut you off. I do apologize.
No, you're fine. Because y'all said, that's for another time. So I was like, that's for another time.
Hey, we can bring it up.
Israel, did you hear the scenario? Because I'm not repeating it. I'm telling you, I keep forgetting it. Every time I say it, I keep forgetting it. So do you remember the scenario? Is he muted?
Sorry, are you? Is that for me?
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Oh, okay. You're asking if I remember the scenario.
And he's gonna tell me no. I feel it coming up.
All right. No. I think I do remember the scenario. Hey, check. I don't know about you guys, but I'm from Africa, and here when a lady is acting up, we leave her, and I mean it's no time wasting. We don't play like that. I mean, I want you. I'm showing interest. You don't seem interested. I leave you. It's simple. So you just go. I mean, you don't waste time. I mean, go. So yeah, I'll leave.
I love your traditions.
Come on, prophet. Come on.
Walk out the door.
Don't make me start running.
Okay, so I do want to mention that before I say this, I'm not coming for nobody on this live that's watching live or that's going to be watching the replay. But I do notice there's a repetition. There's a theme in the Bible. Like Jacob was 77 when he approached Rachel. Like, he approached her with a kiss. Even though they was family, we're not going to get into that though. But he approached her with a kiss. She was 22 years old. So there's this theme in the Bible to where I see an older man always pursuing a younger female. So I want to put this in today's, modern terms. I'm sure you guys are seeing social media, the Laura Harvey and Michael B. Jordan, whatever his name is, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and Will and Jada. So let's compare the story of Jacob, Rachel, Leah to real life people. Who wants to start?
I don't know too much about the Johnny and Amber Heard. I don't know the details. I don't know the details.
It's fine.
I'll tell you, a hot mess.
I'm gonna talk, but it is messy. It is messy.
Is the question about just age gaps? Is that where we're going?
Basically, but I want to because Will and Jada are around the same age, so I really want to just compare it to, because I know a man. Let's be honest, a man in today's society can barely handle one woman. And Jacob was married to 4. He was married to Rachel, her maid, Leah, and her maid. That's 4 women. So I want to talk about the dynamics of Will and Jada and Johnny and Amber being the age difference, if that makes sense.
So I mean, because I guess I'm confused, because are we talking about age gaps, or are we talking about multiple wives?
In this instance, I'm saying we can go on the age difference. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't realize Will and Jada was that far apart. I don't follow them. I don't know. Secular people.
Will and Jada aren't that far apart. I was talking about with Will and Jada, with a man being, this scenario with Jada coming out being basically saying, what Will did was wrong. Basically, they put her into this, what type of role? What's the type of role? Like she's in charge of the relationship. We'll say that. I only use Will and Jada because I know a lot of people are talking about, the dynamics with their relationship. But really, I wanted to go to the age difference thing.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, worldly people do worldly stuff. I don't know. But as far as this dynamic that we're talking about, I kind of feel like the culture speaks a lot to the dynamics. Back then, that culture, it was the norm for kindred to be together, to keep the line, because that's a big deal about the bloodline and things like that. Here, the culture is 50-50 type of mentality. So they go in marriages, kind of doing their own thing or whatever. I bring this, you bring that. We'll come together and see if we want to put it together and see if it works. It's just, I think that's a cultural thing that it's a lot of dynamics of Will Smith now. But as far as maturity and understanding biblical principles, it's clear from the Word of God that God establishes marriage for one man, one woman. Clearly, age gaps is for like wisdom to speak. I think you have a successful marriage if you're 60 and the person is 28 or whatever. But I think that's based off of their maturity. I have people in my family that have huge gaps and they've been married for decades or whatever. So it's just, I think that's a maturity level. I think it's uncommon. I don't think you can just put a 60 and a 20-year-old together and it'll work. I think that's just based off of specific people. I think I don't know. There's so many different dynamics that you can kind of put together and kind of see. But I think as far as just biblical principles, I think we should stick with that as far as marriage and dating and things like that, because what God said in order is pretty solid. One man, one woman come together, become one, follow God, let God be the head. The man is the head of the household. The woman follows after them, the children. I think if we as Christians stay in that lineup, I think a lot of this other stuff that we're seeing as far as how the world works, it wouldn't come into our marriages. But I am aware that we correlate a lot of things based off of what we see in celebrities, and we pull those things into our world, thinking that it's okay because there may be some people that we look up to. I actually just made a post about like some music artists, Kendrick Lamar and all them or whatever, and I hear a lot of gospel or Christian hip hop artists saying that they look up to these people, and these same people are talking about Black Hebrew Israelites and junk like that, but they're not serving the same God as you, but yet you look up to those people. And So you find yourself wrestling with a lot of things you shouldn't have to wrestle with because you're looking up to something that you shouldn't be looking up to. And I think that's the same perspective here. If God says the order is this way and we should operate this way, and we're looking at people like Will Smith to get our advice from, I mean, I think that's part of our problem when we take those type of people and we look up to them and pull their world into ours and try to place ourselves. Jada, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be done. Jada had made a statement about um, how her grandmother taught her how to pleasure herself. I think at the age of 9. And yeah, baby, you were molested by your grandmother, but she doesn't see that. In her mind, her grandmother taught her how to be a strong, independent woman. You see what I'm saying? But that's the way the world operates. They don't understand it. In the spiritual sense, you'll see that no, your grandmother actually um, molested you. You know what I'm saying? And because if you go to the mother, the grandmother never did it to the daughter, you know what I'm saying, Jada's mother. And so if she's never experienced that, and yeah, she used your childhood as the advantage to do what she wanted to do or whatever. And I think that's the mindset that a lot of people have when we just kind of take these pieces of things and just throw them in a pot. And if it worked, we feed it to our children, and you have all the generational curses. I don't really believe in the actual curses, but that type of stuff that happens, and then we don't break it, and it's just a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of stuff, but that's my little mini take, I guess.
Anyone else?
I think I'm like a little stuck because I'm just like, okay, I guess my question would be like, what about the age gap? What exactly about it? But I do have one thought or a few thoughts, I guess, for sure. Um, like when it comes, I feel like we can't even really compare like our relationship. Like I feel like comparing marriage today to how it was like back then. Um, I feel like it's not the same because we are in a different culture, we are in a different climate, and people are coming together for different reasons. I feel like back then it was more about like real estate and heirs and to get your herd. I don't remember exactly what they got, but I feel like it was more about like inheritance. Like now people are marrying, they're marrying for love and stuff like that, or some people marrying for lust, or some people just marrying because maybe they want to get a citizenship. Like there's so many different reasons why people are getting married today. I think at the end of the day, if you do make that decision to get married to that individual, um, you definitely should be holding up, the biblical principles as far as like what God says about marriage and His heart towards it. So I think, yeah. So that part, and then yeah. So as far as like age gap goes, like I personally, when I was like back in the day when I was younger, when I was, I thought it was cute to date somebody like much, 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 much older. And I've never done it, but there have been close calls. Personally, like it just don't mesh. I'm like my mindset, their mindset, our goals. Granted, there are people who it works out for them, but I'm just me personally. It's not. I'm not too big on it. I'm not too much of a fan of it. But God could do anything with anyone, and I've seen thriving marriages with the age gap. I think it's a cup of tea type thing too. But then I also do think there is an aspect of it where it does get a little pedophile-ish, if I can be honest. Like girls straight out of high school.
Gross.
Come on, dude. That's
Gross.
grooming. That is grooming. That's predatory.
Yeah.
It's sick. If we could just be honest, I feel like that person that doesn't even, they haven't even hit their like developmental milestones, that they're big ones. Like me being in my 20s, like I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still finding out who I am and who God has called me to be. Like, there's just so many different things. I'm just like, I feel like being with a person like much, much, much older than myself, I feel like I'm leaving room for them to, I guess, project their own whatever they got going on me. And it's not giving me an opportunity to really, become who I should be. So I do think there is an aspect of it that is pedophilish. So I'm going to stamp that one in the ground. So.
Yeah. I agree.
Fellas.
So, for me, I prefer older, to be honest. I don't like these little girls. I do not like these little girls.
How you gonna agree with a statement and then just come out and be like, I like them older anyway?
No, but yeah, I prefer older, to be honest. I like older women. I do not like the girls. They get on my nerves. There's some of them are very childish, and I don't got time for that. I just like older women. I don't know. Maybe because I'm old, so yeah. That answers my question. Okay, Mr. Bobby, sit your next.
What's the number though? What's the number though? I'm just curious because you keep saying girls. It's like, what you talking about? Like 17 and a quarter? You not that old. So
30 and above. And older. I mean, 30 and older. Yeah, 30 and older.
So like you'll date a 54-year-old?
Oh, yes, I would. If she's good looking, I would. My God. Yes, I'm an old soul. I felt that in the spirit. I felt it.
That's funny, Ben. That's funny. I do agree with someone had texted earlier. Age is nothing but a number, but of course, be respectful. Like you were saying earlier, nothing crazy. No older man should be with a child or anything like that. But I've known a couple where the gentleman was older and the lady was younger and had all these children and beautiful life, and we see that a lot, in some of our ancestors during slavery days. The wife was much younger, and even in the Bible we saw that. But age is nothing but a number. I see that if you find someone that you love and it works, then I think life can be beautiful if you find someone that you find that you want to be with. So that's my answer.
I think that's a great answer. I love that answer.
So what was wrong with my answer? Ain't nobody agree.
I don't see you with a 54-year-old woman.
You never know. You never know.
You never know.
Get your bag.
All jokes aside, no, I probably wouldn't date nobody that old because that's old enough to be my grandmother. No, I wouldn't do that. But I like to just say older than me. They gotta be older than me. I'm 22, so they gotta be older than me. So yeah.
Right.
Israel,
can I say something real quick? I'm sorry.
You can.
Because I feel like with women, they don't be having time for younger men like that. Like, I'm just gonna keep it 100 because guys, they like take longer to mature. So it's like if you're already around my age group and you're like not even there, and then I give you, I drop some years and you're gonna be not there. It's extra work sometimes. That's just me being, I'm just throwing that in the air. That's how it be. Okay. I'm gonna leave you alone. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm gonna leave you alone.
I can't. What is going on? Where was Israel? Okay, Israel,
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
We
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep losing sound. Okay, yeah. So does age really matter? For me, I think age doesn't really matter. I think maturity first. Check. We have grown up. Like somebody can be 50 and yet they're still a baby. Like we have 50-year-old babies, and somebody may be young, like 20 something, but if you check the level of maturity, is actually high up there. So I feel it's about the connection you have with somebody, but don't forget that at some point, depending on the age difference, but biology may catch up on you guys. So you need to be very careful when choosing a partner. I mean, it doesn't really matter how old the person is, but it's up to you. I mean, you need to weigh. It's somebody you'll be with for the rest of your life. So I mean, you need to think of yourself. Where, I mean, how old is your partner going to be in the next 10 years, the next 20 years, 30 years? I mean, so you need to think of all those things. Sometimes we just get excited, looking at something, just thinking it's for a moment, but marriage is not something you play with. It's something you plan for. So you need to plan. You need to be futuristic about it. So yeah. Like I said, wisdom, and biblically, I don't, from the biblical point of view, I don't think there's a problem in marrying a person who's older, way older, or whatever. There's nothing wrong, but there's everything wrong when years catch up with you. So you need to be very, very, very careful. Yeah, for me, personal, I think would I date somebody older than me? I don't know. I don't know. Uh, maybe, just maybe. Ben, don't be disappointed. I know you, but no, maybe I would, maybe not. Yeah.
Are we talking about like significant age gaps though? Because that's what I'm referring to. I'm not talking about a couple years off. I'm talking about like 10, 15.
I would say, well, again, he was 77. She was 22. That's a significant gap. That's for sure.
Sorry. Yeah. The other thing we shouldn't forget is, like, age in Bible days. Those guys could live up to 900 years. All right. Let's not forget that. So if Jacob could work for 7 years, in the field, he wasn't playing, he was working, so he was still strong. So I mean, I feel it was still okay in those days.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Never mind.
No, take it there.
No, I was gonna say, but what about today? Because now, and even then, they still consider that old. We don't know how they 900 look. I mean, but then I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, let's talk about today. Today, a significant age gap. Like, I'm talking about a 10-year, 15-year gap. Like, I feel like you're in a different generation. You in a completely different
but
generation.
Here's the thing again. I mean, I've never seen a 22-year-old telling a homeless 70-year-old man that I like him or I love him for who he is. All right. But if somebody has got the money, they'll be like, oh, I love this man, I love him for who he is, and all that. So I think in our generation, it's I mean, it's all about the money. It's rare that a young lady would date an older man for love. it's for the money. I don't know.
You see that? Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. You see that in Hollywood, and some of the older actors, or they have younger wives, or even some of the athletes. I mean, you see that, and it is because of the money. But everyday life, if you're 10, 20, 30 years, I mean, I see 10 or 20, but it just depends on the person and how mature the person are. How mature the two people are together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rich, I know you got something. It's sitting on the back of your throat, in the back of your throat, right there. You just go ahead and say it. Come on. Unmute yourself though. Don't talk when you're muted though.
Shut up. Like anyway, I'm not even. I don't even want to voice my opinion to this question.
Why not?
I won't say I'm kind of like Ben, because I think he's exaggerating a little bit.
I'm gonna bring this comment up.
Out.
She likes the motors. I'm just gonna let y'all know.
I cannot. She exposing me in these comments. I don't. I want to be quiet on this question.
No, I think you should answer. Everybody gets to talk. I've been talking to all night, and you just ain't said your opinion. Who agrees with me? Anybody agree with me?
Amen.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with older. If you like older, you like older. Like, I mean, I've always dated younger. I don't date older. I've always dated younger.
Why'd you go for younger?
This is not on purpose. Everybody think I'm younger than what I am. I mean, and I'm always around younger guys. Like the last dude I talked to, I met him on the basketball court. He ended up being, I think it's been a minute since I've been dating, but I think I was like 29. He was 22. No, he was 21 because he had a birthday. He turned 22. And, I mean, he thought I was, under him. He thought I was younger than him. But it's because, I went to the court and I played and we flirted, and that's how that happened. We didn't learn our ages until like, I think maybe a month or so afterwards when we was hanging out with some friends. And then, of course, everybody told me I robbed cradle. But, type of situation.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to rob the cradle every now and then. I understand. No, I'm. The reason why I don't want to give my opinion because I agree with everyone, honestly. Because I do like older men. I am attracted to older men. At the same time, I still see the generation that we are in today, where older men are grooming women at an early age. So it's like I agree, and then I disagree at the same time. It goes back to a comment that I seen. You have to be cautious. You have to use your spirit of discernment. You have to just know who you are and what you bring to the table. You look younger than my age. That's for you, Chastity. Pop it up again. But yeah, that's why I said I really can't voice my opinion because I'm like, I get it. But then at the same time, I get this as well because I do see it. And I agree with the men as well. More women today are going after older men to provide something, whether it's to provide that void of not having a father, provide the lack of money, to provide certain things. But in my situation, and this may sound so crazy, I like to be with a man who has lived a little, if that makes sense, because I feel like men in this society today, they like, I'm not cool with you. Like if I'm like, okay, I'm with you with me. If we come to that agreement, I'm not, this day and age, we're talking to multiple people at the same time. We're dealing with multiple people at the same time. And I feel like it's an age thing because I noticed that older men have gotten that, excuse my language, whole phase out of their system, I would say. But at the same time, I see a lot of older men reverting back to that whole phase as well. So that's why I said I really don't have an opinion for this question. But I'm glad you guys asked.
I think that phase is, and I think a lot of people don't deal with that correctly because, lust is spirit you deal with, and if you're not groomed by the Holy Spirit in that area, if you're not taking that to the Lord, I don't care how old you are. Like you can go straight into a marriage with a lust issue, thinking, oh, okay, I can sleep with this person because I'm married. That's why I don't.
Yeah.
I never encourage people to get married just because they want to have sex or whatever. But so if you don't deal with your lust, and then your spouse is not giving it to you enough, because they probably won't ever satisfy you if you have a lust issue and a lack of self-control. It'll be an issue in the long run or whatever. I think stuff like that, that's a part of like what you were saying earlier, is that discernment part that you have to, you know what I'm saying, you have to see God on and really just pay attention to those red flags. A lot of people kind of let you know where they are in those spiritual depths. Because to me, that's like a spiritual depth issue that you look at versus I just see an attractive guy, because I'm attracted to older guys. I just never really, they don't usually come to me. I usually get younger guys, but again, but I also haven't been dating almost 8 years at this point. So almost, I think it's a little too long. 6 years. I think I had to about 6 years or whatever. But so I mean, you know what I'm saying? I think the dynamics, things have changed. A lot of ways and dating scenes and social media is 10 times bigger. You got, we talked about dating from apps. All that stuff to me plays a part in this culture and how we're dating, who we connect to. Because I have been extremely attracted to a guy that was like 45 years old and I'm 35. But it was that particular guy. Like, I'm not attracted to 45-year-olds. Like, it's just that particular guy I was attracted to. He just happened to be 45. So I think, what I'm saying, it's just like the men were saying earlier, I just think it's about your maturity and where you are and stuff like that.
I have to say, I love it when a man don't know how to use social media. Period. I'm just gonna leave that there. I love it when a man don't know how to use social media. Period. But we have a question by Mike Robinson. He said, maturity is subjective. What is the definition of maturity? And is it supposed to be the same for everyone? Great question. Any takers?
I think
maturity. All right, go ahead.
No, because I had the same moment you had. Because I'm like,
you should see her face expression. Oh my gosh, that took me out.
All right. Okay. Okay. I with the lead to
in regards,
experience that I feel. Can you hear me?
Sorry. Let me mute.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
we can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I mean, there's one thing about maturity. First of all, there's I mean, it depends with how you were brought up, and there are things that people call maturity, and it's just the way that somebody was brought up. Like, how can I explain this? All right, okay, let me just simplify this. There's something about maturity that you can't fake it. No matter how much you try to fake maturity, at some point your true colors will come up. I mean, you can't fake it for a long time. So it's something we grow in.
I can't hear you, fam.
I think he's mute. He's going in, but we can't hear you, Israel.
You hit your mute. Hit your mic.
We can't hear.
Can't hear you. Oh, it went away.
Someone else want to answer the question while we'll drink, or you were about to answer?
Yeah, I was gonna pretty much say the same thing he was saying. Like, I don't know if I want to say maturity is subjective. Well, I like because it does have a lot to do with your upbringing and what you went through and what and how your healing process has been. You know, have you seen a therapist for some of these things that are still clinging from your childhood, or you know what? Like, I don't know if it's a maturity thing that I want to say. Like, I feel like it's more of like I don't know, just your character development and just your traumas, like all that stuff that should be taken care of. Well, where it's an ongoing process. Let me not say like you need to have yourself, you know, fully prepared. Like we ain't never gonna be like fully ready for anything, but like I think it has to do a lot with that because I'm just like the word maturity. I feel like it kind of like strickens a person like I don't know, because everybody's definition of well, there you go. Everybody's definition of maturity is different. You know, some people might find a more playful personality to be immature when, you know, they might just be like a ball of energy. Like they might just like to play, they might like to laugh, they might be a goofball. I know I'm a goofball. So I'm gonna be immature. I'm gonna be immature. But you know, like as far as like maturity, as far as like how you handle yourself, I think that's character. I don't think that's, and I don't know if maturity is like a character develop. I guess it's kind of in that realm, but yeah. Hope okay, yeah.
It's kind of like when you respond to life situations. I like what Ben said. He's an old soul. I know a lot of young people are old souls, and you know they're very mature in decisions that you make. You can
Right.
see where people are in their lives, and you know you can tell they're going to respond in a mature way. So you know, but like you said, people who you said you're kind of like you know carefree and kind of goofy, and but when you get ready to make a sound decision, you're mature to the decision. So it's on and you know like particular who the person really is.
I
Um,
think we're getting like personality mixed up with character. I think that's what it is. Like not like no, what you said was good. I'm saying like, but I think just in general, that whole idea of maturity thing, I think people are getting personality mixed up with character development and stuff like that because it's like you could be a quiet person but extremely immature because I know there are people who they see quietness synonymous with a person being mature. That was like something I struggled with growing up because I've always been the goofball type of person, and I'm still that person. I used to like think there was something wrong with me because that's how I am, and you know I would let people tell me that I'm immature, but I'm like, no offense, sorry that your personality is bland, but you act the fool. Like you act the fool when certain situations come. Let me not say personality is bland. That's me, but we ain't got the same personality, so we're gonna approach our personalities are different, but when it comes down to like you said, like approaching those decisions where we have to make big decisions, where we have to use our mind and really think critically, like we don't think critically. Like this generation does not know how to critically think whatsoever. I was once a victim, and I'm learning more and more be to think more critically. You know, I feel like that's where I want to know how your mindset is. I don't really care about if you play too much. Like,
right.
you know, because I
Yeah.
feel like that's so surface.
Someone who's responsible is mature. If you like being around people who are goofy or the life of the party, everybody's getting drunk, but you're going to be the one who's going to be the designated driver. That's someone who's making a mature decision, and those are the type of people that you know make good decisions. And you could still be the life of the party. You know, you can still turn it up, but when it comes down to making decisions, are you mature enough? So and that's important in looking for someone that you know for a mate as well.
Amen.
Well, another thing I think this generation lacks is communication. Communication is the key in a relationship. If you don't have good communication skills, um, even when conflict comes up, you like to like, okay, you know, I'm just gonna be quiet. I ain't gonna say nothing. I don't got time to deal with this. So yeah.
I would
Yeah,
add to that too. Sorry.
I think maturity, because I was trying to remember what it was. Maturity is when wisdom and understanding kind of meets application. Because you can have different scenarios in life. Like you can be mature in your finances because you understand the wisdom and understanding and you apply it. But you can still be that same individual and be immature in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? I don't think overall a person is just overall mature all the time. I think there's growing points or growing pains or whatever that you have to go through in life. And then you get to a point to where or you know certain I don't want to say age, but you get to a certain point to where the application of, like, for example, my relationship with Christ, that application can be, that wisdom and understanding can be applied to marriage. To me, that's where maturity is magnified, because now I understand that I don't have to have every single scenario that happened to me to mature. I can take the principles and the foundations that I've already learned from a situation and apply it. So I think those applications, I think you start being able to apply things appropriate in those different times, which I think I'm just kind of saying it in a different way, but I think y'all basically said the same thing or whatever. In those different situations or scenarios, that's what makes you a mature person, because how you apply what you understand and the knowledge that you received and the wisdom that you gain to your life or whatever. So I think that does change with the person. I think it changes with age. I think it changes, what people been through and stuff like that. I think it can be a little inconsistent. I think that's why they was talking about it. It's more, what the word they use, subjective. Yeah. So I think it does kind of change with people and time, places, and things like that. Amen.
Amen.
It's cool. It's cool. Maybe it's cool. Maybe I'm solo on it, but it's all good.
No, it's not that you solo on it. We were just listening.
Everything is like echoing, so I'm like, I have no idea if y'all heard me or not.
No, we heard you.
Yeah, no. It was, no, what you said was good. I was gonna add to what Ben said, because he said like communication is the key, and I was like, communication is the key, and also like how willing that person is to comprehend what you're saying, because we could communicate all day, and then it's like, if what I'm saying is just going in one ear and out the other, or like it's not doing anything, like, okay, like, all right, we communicated, box check, but it's like, okay, like, what's the action step to see, like, to get to the solution? So how willing is that individual? Like, dating is a lot of work. Dating is just a lot of work. I think it's fun, but then I also think there's a lot to consider, and you do have to be a mature individual to be able to deal with certain situations, because immaturity, like you said, like you were saying, was like shutting down, like, all right, I'm not going to do this. Or at least communicate, like, hey, I need to gather my thoughts. I don't have a sound response or a well thought out response to what you're saying. And I want to be able to speak to you not from a place of emotion, but like, okay, like, I thought this through. I brought it to the Lord. Like, I'm not just going to like cuss you out or go off. And I'm saying this from my own personal experience, from a recent relationship that I was in. So it's like maturity, there's like levels to it. Yeah.
Big Ben, the next question.
Oh. You want me to read it, or what you want me to do? What you want me to read it?
Yeah, read it. You got a lot to say, so keep saying it.
Is you talking about the question that at the bottom, or are you talking about the one that you scored?
Yes, darling, yes.
In a nutshell, what is your thoughts on Jacob, Leah, and Rachel and their relationship? Their relationship with each other, and how they seeing their self as a whole. And y'all can read it to yourself, especially if y'all didn't understand anything I said, because I'm country. But yeah.
I think as a whole, I feel like this is just the Bible just bringing another fact in history that we ain't got together. Things are messy sometimes in relationships. Everything don't go the way you think it's gonna go. The husband or the wife may not look like the way you want them to look. I think it's just a highlight of the Bible, just giving you some truths about life. My favorite book is the Book of Ecclesiastes, and it's because it always talks about, damn, life is whatever, it's chance. Like some stuff happens, some stuff don't. Sometimes even people get all the goods, and sometimes all the good people get all the bad. And I think this story is kind of highlighting that, and it's like, listen, he made a solid decision, but it went this way. But he trusted God on this, and if you go further into the story, he'll talk about a lot of stuff. There's a lot of trickery involved in cattle and land and all this other type of stuff that they had to go through. But at the end of the story, it's like God covered him, and it took him back to a place where, even though he was blessed in that place, he took him back to a designated place because that's where the promise was from the beginning. So I think that's just God's sovereignty, just continuing to show us through the Word of God that life is messy, and sometimes it don't feel right, and sometimes you got to work harder than normal, and sometimes you got to go the extra mile. You got to do all these things, but in the end, if you remember that God made a promise and He's solid on what He is, no matter what it looks like, it's still good.
Anyone else? That was a good point. I think these are all good points, and I'm sitting back more like looking like, okay, I get this and I get this, but I disagree with this and I agree with this and I agree with this. Okay, I disagree with that. I don't like that. That don't fit into my life, at least. But I love that you guys are being transparent and being honest. I think we need to be more honest as a body of Christ. But yeah, does anyone else want to answer the question?
Yeah, I kind of agree with what Chastity was saying. With Jacob, in a nutshell, he had issues, and we all got issues. I mean, all the decisions that he made, bad or good, I still love that he wrestled the angel all night and didn't let go till he blessed him. So there was some good things that Jacob did in the Bible. One of my favorite people in the Bible is David. Look at all the bad things David did. I mean, he killed a man so he could be with his wife, but he was a man after God's own heart. David, danced, and it just gave the best praise ever in the Bible to God. So we all got issues. We all have ups or downs, good, bad. But if we just continue to keep God first, and I think either in relationships or all of the things that we discuss, being mature, we all got issues. We just got to continue to put God in the front of it and just keep making great decisions and going forward. I gotta go real quick, but I want to thank you guys for just letting me be a part. I'm the old dude in the room, but I am just so excited. Young lady beside me, I forgot your name.
Drika.
Rick, what's your name?
Drika.
Yeah, follow me. I'll follow you back. Hit me up on IG and Facebook. Let's connect. And this weekend, Chastity will be on the Bobby Parker Radio Show. I'm excited about that and her music. Continue doing what you're doing. I'm a fan. And Rika and Ben, you guys already know I love you guys. Thanks for playing my show. And I'm excited. Y'all keep in contact with me and keep me updated what you guys doing. I love what you guys are doing. So thank you for letting me be a part tonight.
No problem. You take care. Blessings to you and all that you do.
Sir.
Yes. Thank you for your wisdom.
Yes, sir. This question, I think it's very...
Oh, we extra close.
Huh?
I said we extra close now. We see everybody.
It zooms in. Let me back up some. I think this... episode has been very enlightening, if that's the word I can use. I agree with everyone. I think the Bible shows us these different stories to show all these people have character flaws. All these people have different things going on, and they may not look, like the normal Joe or the average Joe walking down the street or what they got going on, but God still used them at the end of the day. And God still blessed the marriage, even though he still blessed Rachel, he still blessed Leah. No matter that adversity, I guess I can use the word, that was going on in the relationship, they were still blessed. Their children were blessed. And I think at the end of the day, we need to, encourage each other. The Bible says encourage yourself, but encourage yourself and make sure you encourage each other and support each other. I don't think me and Chastity may not have the same mindset as on relationships. Me and Jacob may not have the same mindset on relationships, but God, if it's ordained by God, God's gonna bless it regardless. Yes. And I think this was a blessed marriage at the end of the day, no matter what was going on.
Yes.
So I want to thank all the panelists for coming on. Thank you, Drinka girl. We gotta bring you back. We got to bring you back because I did not know you were so wise, and you're so young and so wise. Thank you, Chastity, for coming on. Thank you, Big Ben, for whatever you had to say. I don't get it. Thank you, Israel. I want to give a shout out to everybody that is watching now in the playback. If you would like to be a panelist on the show, let us know in the inbox. You can inbox me. You can inbox Big Ben. Let us know. Yeah.
And have a reasonable time.
Let us know. We always.
No sliding in the DMs at 2 a.m.
No, ma'am. No, sir, no, ma'am.
We always like to hear different people's opinions and things like that. So we would love to. You don't have to be single to come on the platform. You can be married. You can be dating. Just come on the platform and talk. We're going to have some more people. We're going to have some experts coming soon. The expert that I'm trying to have come, honey, he going to blow your mind. So I encourage you guys to stay tuned to what we have going on. Again, share this live. Share it to a single person. Share it to a married person. Share it. Because why not? What you doing anyway? Nothing. Anyway, until next time. Do you guys want to say anything before we leave?
I got something to say to the people of God. Keep God first. Because if you keep him first, he won't fail you. Hey! I felt that right right there in my river. But guys, I'm hungry. I'm a whole Disney Channel right now. I'm Disney. I need to go eat. I'm so glad we're about to end because I've been hungry half of this.
You ain't seen me even in the beginning of it. I'm sorry, guys. I just want to say thank you guys for having me. It was nice connecting and chatting with everybody. I love conversations like this. Love bringing different perspectives and ideas together and hearing what everybody has to say. Yeah. Hope we all connect after.
Yes. My IG's right there, everybody. You follow my IG too. I need everybody to find my IG.
Heard that.
Chastity? Oh, you ain't got nothing to say?
Listen, Chastity tired today, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive me. I pulled all the energy from the bottom of the barrel, and because I love y'all and I like talking to y'all and stuff. So, but I love being here, and I appreciate the platform.
We appreciate you as well. We love you as well. So until next time, you guys, we speak nothing but blessings. Nothing but blessings over the viewers. Nothing but financial blessings, healing in the body. We ask that God encamp his angels in the homes and the vehicles and the highways and the byways as you go throughout the rest of your evening in the name of Jesus, or your day if you're in a different country, whatever time zone you're in, Lord. We ask that you bless everyone. Let them get, even if they didn't like all our opinions or everything we had to say, let them get just one thing and let it touch their soul. I cannot stand Benjamin, but in Jesus' name, we out.